there, and welcome to this week's Coach's Corner video, where the topic of discussion is what clients truly need from health and wellness practitioners and coaches for true success to happen. In other words, amazing client outcomes and for you to create a dynamic waiting list practice. So to kick this presentation off, I have a super short story for you. As a result of me contracting COVID last winter, over this past year, I've been dealing with some pretty gnarly health issues of my own, and I ended up having to seek out the expertise of other health professionals to help me navigate. In doing so, I came up against situations that reminded me all too well of the incredible frustration that I went through in working with other practitioners in my journey to recover from chronic Lyme and company and mold illness, including many, if not most, practitioners in the holistic and functional realms. These experiences catalyzed the making of this video. What clients truly need is a critical topic to bring to the forefront of discussion, because while it may feel right and comfortable, for that matter, for health and wellness practitioners and coaches to provide clients with what they want, and it will often lead to more income in the short run, from what I've experienced and observed, it doesn't ultimately lead to good client outcomes and great income in the long run. And what are good long-run client outcomes? To me, good long-run client outcomes translate into three primary things: personal empowerment, becoming one's own best healer, and transformation. I've come to believe that these are three essential ingredients in creating wellness and success in our lives that we all yearn for and need on a deep level, whether we know it and acknowledge it or not. It's also important to recognize that long-run success of one's business depends on good client outcomes. I mean, let's face it, we need good client outcomes to build a thriving business. Would you not agree? Clients that experience the rediscovery or first-time discovery of their personal power, become their own best healers, and achieve transformation, which transformation comes in many forms, are going to always remember you and will be the ones that spread the word about your awesomeness and send referrals your way for years to come, helping to pave the way for the waiting list practice of your dreams. Furthermore, working with clients in this manner plays an essential role in personal fulfillment and living a passion-filled life, which, if you ask me, are the most important markers of success. And what does it take to work with clients in such a way that helps them to step into their personal power, become their own best healer, and experience the growth and transformation they need to be the best versions of themselves? Well, it takes a truly holistic approach. Though I've come to realize that this term holistic is often overused so much that it's lost its meaning. In fact, what I've observed in my journey is that holistic often means little more than replacing conventional labs and medications with functional labs and supplements. So in light of this, I want to talk to you today about what clients who are seeking help in the resolution of chronic health issues and the resulting life stress really need from you. So let's jump right in, shall we? Okay. So first up on the list is that practitioners walk the talk and show up in their businesses and in the client-practitioner relationship or client-coach relationship, whatever it is you call yourself, as the best versions of themselves. The saying, "your vibe attracts your tribe," could not be more true, more accurate. You see, everything in the universe is made of energy, including us. And each of our energies greatly impacts the energy of others, as well as the energy of the collective consciousness, so to speak. I mean, think about this. Do you ever come in contact with somebody and right away you can feel their energy, their vibration, often without them ever saying a single word? This could be a bad energy that you feel in your body and makes you think, man, this person is not healthy for me to be around. Or it can be an amazing, dynamic, inspirational, beautiful energy, such as that it lights up an entire room, draws you in and captivates you in a great way and says, I want more of this person. I want to be more like them. I once had a high school teacher like this, a math teacher, and I couldn't stand math. But because her energy was so amazing and dynamic, Her class was like the most amazing experience ever. Any way you look at it, the energy that you bring forth into your business and into each client session, starting with the very first encounter, sets the tone for the entire practitioner-coach-client relationship. In light of this, in order to ensure that you exude good energy and show up as the best version of yourself in your business, you need to be your own most important client. You need to walk the talk. This means gaining clarity of your life vision, dialing in on your own self-care, the continual cultivation of a growth mindset, creating and maintaining healthy boundaries, taking care of your nervous system by learning and implementing tools for self-regulation, building healthy and supportive relationships, working towards resolving your own stuff, which we all have stuff to resolve. And the list goes on. Until you do all this for yourself, you cannot adequately support others in the process of doing it. And this will come through in your work loud and clear, which will have a negative impact on your overall business. I speak from very up-close personal experience with this. And the more that I raise my vibration and work on myself and make myself my own best client, the more success I experience in my business and in my life. Okay, so what exactly does a whole person approach mean? Well, just as looking at a single lab test result in isolation is limited in its utility, so is looking at a person only as a cluster of their current symptoms, challenges, or issues. While healing the biochemistry and physiology with tools such as lab tests, supplements, detox protocols, and other interventions is indeed integral and cannot be skipped, helping clients to build sustainable wellness extends far beyond the biochemical realm. A truly dynamic practitioner or coach needs to take into account all aspects of one's history and current life, not only in terms of what happened, but even more importantly, how what happened and what continues to happen impacted and continues to impact their body, their mind, and their spirit. So this term, mind, body, spirit, is thrown around all the time. But what does it really mean? It means that a person is much more than the sum of their parts. Furthermore, physical health cannot be separated from the other aspects of one's life. They're all intimately interwoven, no? A person is actually an ecosystem existing in a dynamic interplay within greater ecosystems. And as such, we need to be able to hold space and help our clients explore factors that are contributing to all of their ongoing issues. In light of this, I feel that helping clients become their own best healers and creating sustainable wellness and success in their lives requires helping them to figure out and optimize 7 primary factors of health restoration and optimization, which are, number 1, clarity of their wellness vision, number 2, identifying and addressing root causes and barriers to success, which this is a very involved process and requires deep investigation into both physiology and psychology. Number 3, self-care. Number 4, alignment of daily habits and patterns with self-care strategies. Number 5, environments both inside and outside the body. Number 6, knowledge and skill that one needs to gain or up-level in order to best support their healing and overall vision. We all have knowledge and skill that we need to acquire to be better versions of ourselves. And number 7, the continual cultivation of a growth mindset. I've come to learn that our mindset is likely the greatest determinant of our ability to overcome life challenges and hardships, which there are many, and cultivate wellness and success in our lives. Helping clients to optimize each of these 7 factors has become the basis of how I create and organize my coaching programs, and my business, as I said earlier, continues to soar and become more and more successful, bringing me more and more abundance and personal fulfillment and a passion-filled life. Next up is a trauma-informed approach that emphasizes nervous system self-regulation. I could have packaged this component in with the last, but it is so critical that I decided to separate it out and emphasize it. You see, the role of trauma is so underestimated and underaddressed in terms of not only how it paves the way for chronic issues to develop, but also how it limits the effectiveness of biochemical interventions and keeps people stuck in vicious chronic stress, pain, illness, life dysfunction cycles for years and sometimes an entire lifetime. And the reason for this, which could be an entire dissertation in itself, but for the purposes of this video, I'll keep it simple, is that trauma, whether big and acute like a horrible accident or the premature death of a loved one, or more complex and spread out across a lifetime like being raised by narcissistic parents, bullying, sexual abuse, abusive relationships, etc., alters the way the nervous system interprets and responds to environmental inputs, both causative factors such as toxins and infections, and solutions for recovery such as medications, supplements, dietary changes, and more. This is a significant reason why there are Facebook support groups filled with millions of people that have been trying to recover from chronic issues for years, yet they continue to struggle, or why people jump from practitioner to practitioner, protocol to protocol with little to no success. In light of this, a truly holistic and trauma-informed approach recognizes that the key to the efficacy of any health and life restoration program lies in the regulation of the nervous system. So it is the role of a truly progressive practitioner to have the ability to not only help clients understand this, but more importantly, to learn and implement tools for self-regulation. This is both a blind spot as well as a huge missing link in all of healthcare, including functional and holistic healthcare. In the spirit of self-empowerment and helping people become their own best solutions to whatever ails them or is bogging them down, your clients, regardless of your niche, need you to show up as a true partner in their process and a co-discoverer of their answers rather than an expert that's going to fix them with prescriptive recommendations. And what this really boils down to is helping our clients to either restore or discover for the first time their sense of personal agency. In other words, the realization that we all are truly our own best medicine. This is the North Star of my Wellness Code empowerment and trauma-based coaching approach. And what does empowering the client really look like? Well, for this, I'm going to use 3 wonderful graphic illustrations that I acquired as part of my training with the Well Coaches School of Coaching certification program, which was just one of the many, many programs of study that I've completed and integrated into my Wellness Code approach. Okay, so here we have the Well Coaches School of Coaching side-by-side comparison of an expert approach versus the coach approach. To begin, we have authority versus partner, followed by educator versus a facilitator of change. And to add to this point, I'll say that an expert takes the perspective of the solution being outside of the client versus the transformational coach, whose mission it is to help unleash the client's innate healing potential, help them step into their personal power and become their own best healer, their own best solutions, which ultimately is the truth behind being able to cultivate sustainable wellness and success in our lives. And it's the truth for everybody, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Next, we have defines agenda versus elicits the client's agenda. Feels responsible for the client's health versus client is responsible for their health. Solves problems versus fosters possibilities. Focuses on what's wrong versus focusing on what's right. Has all the answers versus is a co-discoverer of the answers in the process of working with the client. Interrupts if off topic versus learning from the client's story, which everyone has a story that's filled with tons of wisdom that can be used to help move the person forward. And lastly, wrestles with the client versus dancing with the client. And next we have their side-by-side comparison of health education versus coaching, which is experts in a health field, experts at coaching, analyzing problems versus encouraging personal responsibility, giving advice, focusing on strengths and wellness, prescribing solutions, fostering self-discovery, recommending goals, guiding the goal process, developing strategies, promoting self-efficacy, teaching new skills and providing education versus helping the client find their own answers and creating their own possibilities. Close-ended questions versus inquiry and open-ended questions. And then thirdly, we have the practice of mindful coaching and the 8 core coaching attributes to strive to foster in order to help promote relatability, connectedness, growth, and transformation with your client. And they are as follows: empathy, affirmation, zest, playfulness, authenticity, courage, calm, and warmth. Last, but by far from least, is the importance of accountability. So bottom line, good client outcomes depend on the design of strategic, quality, and manageable action steps and follow through on those action steps. And to achieve these 2 outcomes, 2 things need to happen. Number 1, the client needs to play an active role in the design of the action steps, which circles back to everything else that I've already highlighted in this video. And number 2, there needs to be strategic systems in place to help the client to have follow through. These are both super critical because humans in general, I'm talking all of us humans, because of how our brains are wired, we are notorious for rationalizing why we don't need to follow through on things, making excuses, and procrastinating. And because of this, we all need continual support and strategies for follow through to actually take place. Now, while I cannot possibly go into all of my strategies around the topic of accountability, I can give you 2 pointers. First off, it's super critical to implement, as I've already stated, the other 4 strategies that I've highlighted in this video. And secondly, it's important to have simple tools in place within your coaching programs. One such tool that I use is that I send out a pre-session intake form 2 days before each scheduled coaching session that requires the clients to do the following. Number 1, report how they're doing since the last session, good or bad, and provide what they feel to be the top 1 to 3 contributing factors. Number 2, report how they did with agreed upon action steps since last session, good or bad. And 3, rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, of how they're doing with important aspects of self-care, such as nutrition, rest, movement, daily recharge rituals, mindset, nervous system regulation, and more. I have this intake form set up to automatically deliver to clients, and it takes them 5 minutes or less for them to complete. The information within serves as the basis for how I organize and plan for the upcoming coaching session. It's a very dynamic and effective tool for supporting accountability, and my clients actually greatly appreciate it. In closing, everything that I've highlighted in this video is the approach that I implement into my one-on-one coaching practice, and I continue to experience more and more success on all levels, and you can too. So, if this resonated with you and you're seeking to take a deeper dive into learning the knowledge, tools, and strategies to work with clients in this fashion and take your wellness business to new levels and beyond, then I encourage you to check out my Wellness Code Practitioner Training Program at wellnesscodeacademy.com. And that's a wrap for this video. Until next time, all my best to you.